Hey viewers, 2Fortis here, and in this video I'm going to do a full review of the Netflix live action One Piece Season 1 review, along with possibly pointing out some spoilers for the anime all the way through the end of the Alabasta arc, which is about episode 130 in the anime show. So if you don't want to see any of this content, go ahead and turn off this video. But if you do want to see my thoughts on a full review of the Netflix live action One Piece, keep watching, and you might also see some spoilers for some upcoming thoughts that I have concerning certain things that happen in the live action show for season 1. So if you are still here, thanks for watching. If you want to like, comment, and subscribe, go ahead and click on those buttons below. But what I want to say, I finished watching the live action Netflix show of One Piece, and overall I was super excited about it. I am a One Piece fan, have been a One Piece fan for many years now, and completely caught up with the anime and the manga as of currently now in September 2023. So but what we're going to talk about today is the Netflix live action season 1 and my thoughts on season 1. So I thought ultimately it was really good. I would probably give it 80 out of 100%, and there were some parts that I was not happy about, but I think they ultimately did a really good job, and have watched it a few times now, and I was really happy about most of the episodes. One of my favorite characters in One Piece is Roronoa Zoro, and I think that the person who played Zoro did a fantastic job, and they did a fantastic job filming and showing his character. I really liked the interactions with all the crew, and another character which I did not see this coming was how the interactions with Garp chasing down Luffy in the East Blue along with Kobe were going to play out. I think that worked really well for the live action, being as him being kind of the main villain per se, although he was a Marine chasing down Luffy and his crew that he was creating to get to the Grand Line. I thought the story worked out mostly fairly well. The special effects for the majority of it was really good. There were some things that I did not like, but ultimately it was really good. So let's go ahead and dive into some of these details that I wanted to talk about. I really liked the episode 1. I thought it portrayed the overall show and the vibe of the show really well. One of the nitpicks I do have is that I feel like the narrator, not Garp, the Scottish accent Garp, but whoever the narrator was who cast that scene of telling about the world, fell just a little bit short of the overall impression. I wish that he had a maybe a deeper voice or a more exciting voice. I'm not sure what was wrong with his voice. It was okay, but it didn't excite me as much. I really like the opening scene with Gold Roger being executed, and the little interaction with Garp that he had there, and some of the pirate crew. I would talk about some spoilers here later on. I don't really want to go into that, but it's really interesting to see some of the people who were out there in the crowd. You can see, I believe you can see Shanks, Mihawk, Dracula Mihawk, who was also in the show later on. And they also featured a female character who was in the show as well. And so I am wondering who that female character was. After thinking about it for a little bit, there are some thoughts that I could think about that are going to feature beyond what I said was the spoiler of knowing what Alabasta is and going past Alabasta. But ultimately, I really think that, and here we go with some spoilers here for if you need to have watched past the up to the Alabasta arc in the anime show. So I want to say that character is either Dr. Kureha or, oh, and actually I can't say this, so I won't say this. Here we go. If you want to see a spoiler for a little bit past Alabasta, the other character, so you're going to have to watch quite a few, at least about 500 or 600 episodes into it, and you're going to have gotten all the way to probably the end. I'm just going to say the end of Sabopeady. And here we go. Here's the spoiler. I want to say that she could have also been Shaki. So I'm not sure about that. I want to say that was going to be Dr. Kureha. And here we go back to before Alabasta. And I feel like that could have been Dr. Kureha. I know that there are some internet talkings about possibly Jamie Lee Curtis playing Dr. Kureha. She was interviewed and she knew about One Piece and she agreed that she would be okay to play Dr. Kureha. But I can't think of any other character as a female character who would be that character, unless possibly going into some spoilers way beyond even Sabopeady. But I don't think that's part of it. It could be, but I don't think that's part of it. And I really think that's Dr. Kureha. The other rumor that it could be is a female version of Crocodile, which I think that would be kind of cool. I could totally see that being Crocodile, and that would be really cool. But we'll see. On to some other things. I really like the vibe of One Piece. It was really good. I really actually in episode one of Buggy was kind of interesting. He kind of had this Jokerish vibe, but yeah, it. I guess it kind of worked, but it's kind of almost following what the Joker was. Same with Captain Kudo. He was kind of had this Freddy Krueger vibe, along with Freddy Krueger type music and Freddy Krueger weapons. So that's kind of interesting. So it's interesting how they changed his storyline, and I feel like it didn't hit as hard. I feel like I did get a little sad there for Usopp and his backstory, and I think it was done fairly well. And ultimately, the Black Cap Pirates were done okay, but I think the overall connecting with Usopp as the anime was a little bit better. It was better done, and but they did a fine job. Basically, his relationship with Kaya, along with Captain Kudo being part of the Black Cat Pirates and this pirate crew. So that was okay. What really surprised me was probably my favorite episode was episode 5, after they learn about Garp and they're running away from Garp and they find the Baratier, which is kind of interesting because my favorite character is Zoro, and honestly I don't really like Sanji in the anime. In some of these first earlier episodes he's okay for the anime, and later on I don't like his character, but this Baratier really surprised me. I really liked the interactions with the crew of Luffy, Nami, and Zoro and Usopp, along with when Sanji is taking their order. Also, what was really, and then same with when they're playing that little drinking game, that was really cool. I feel like that brought it down to, hey, we're like really cool people just hanging out. I really like that, and I think they did a spot on job with Mihawk. Mihawk was so awesome. I really like Mihawk. I like Mihawk in the anime. I like Mihawk in this live action. I think that story flowed really well. So I really like that whole episode 5 was done really well. I really like that. One of the interesting parts was with Gin. Gin was part of the Don Krieg pirates who were actually fighting Mihawk, and Mihawk beat them. But Don Krieg, the story was a little bit different in the anime. But essentially that's basically what happened, was that Mihawk beat Don Krieg. And but what's interesting was that they kept the Gin scene in. So I'm wondering if that has anything to do with the future of One Piece, as I'm completely caught up. And that's really interesting. There's going to be a spoiler there. I'm just not going to say it. But that's really interesting that they kept that Gin scene in there, as I really like the character of Gin. One of the things that I did not like were some of the special effects for the fishmen. One of the scenes when Arlong and his 2 other fishmen, I forgot what their names were, but they jump out of the water onto the Baratier, which is also a little change from the anime, and that whole scene is very interesting. I get where they're coming from, how they wanted to introduce the fishmen a little bit earlier and change the dynamic of Nami's backstory. But one of the things that's interesting is that honestly they kept generally the same vibe of the anime, but my favorite backstory was always Cocoa Village and Arlong Park, and that was always, from completely caught up to the manga, my favorite arc of all of One Piece. And for me, that scene just did not hit as hard for me. It just hit way harder on Sanji's scene, which was really interesting. So it did get those vibes from me. But also, the march to Arlong Park from the anime was not in there. They did show the crew gathering up to go fight Arlong, but that whole scene was changed quite a bit, and it just was not the same. That was not as impactful as the original scene was. and I get that they don't have as much time, but I feel like some of that could have been changed. And then in the final episode, some of the CGI for when the fishmen jump out of the water from the Bratier, and then the final fight with Luffy versus Garp, with him doing his Gum Gum Rocket. Honestly, to me, that CGI was really bad. So sorry. Some of the rest of the CGI, the buggy CGI was amazing. That was top notch. That was just great CGI. The sword fight choreography for most of all the fighting was really good. I don't mind that the Usopp Flame Star, Green Star. I forgot what it's called. But I thought that was fine. But the Luffy versus Garp, when he just does Gum Gum Rocket, was just really bad. The CGI getting with him and Arlong is really great. I really love that fight with him and Arlong. And so, yeah, that's kind of interesting. One of the things that I have been doing is I finished watching all the episodes, and I've watched some of them multiple times. And one of the things I've been doing, there were 3 people who I've watched on YouTube now that have said that 3 different groups of people who have their own YouTube channel, and they said that they've never seen One Piece before. So it was really interesting for me to just kind of see watch some of their reaction videos, and I was kind of getting hooked on some of it, and it's really interesting. They each have their own takes and perspectives on it. One of these groups of people, it's really interesting because I can definitely tell that they know kind of they can pick up pretty much what the entire anime was about, and they basically guess almost exactly what happened in the anime. Obviously, some of the things have changed, and they thought that Kobe was gonna go on down a different path. They thought that he was going to not really join up with Luffy. But aside from that, they pretty much picked up on everything, which was really cool for me to see. They really were hit by some of the scenes, the Nami scenes, the buggy scenes. It was so cool that even the Shanks backstory. So that was really cool. Oh, one of the other things I do want to talk about on the Shanks backstory is that the other problem a lot of people I noticed have had was with Ben Beckman. I didn't have an issue with Ben Beckman. I think it was fine. He was an awesome fighter, and though he might not have looked the same, I thought he did fine. So I didn't have a problem with that. So ultimately, I would say that I would rate the anime 80 out of 100, and I definitely want to watch it again as a One Piece fan. Just because it's One Piece and it is live action. Going from there, I would definitely rate it maybe a 99 out of 100. But overall, as a movie fan, I would probably rate it a 80 out of 100, which is really good, much higher than a lot of shows that I've seen. But getting back to the reviews, so that was one review. It was kind of interesting because that group of people kind of picked up on everything, but the reactions were not, they were kind of just watching the show. So there were 2 other reaction shows of groups of people that I saw, and I really liked their interactions, their comments, but they definitely did not pick up on some of the things, some of the plot points that you had going on. One of the things that was really interesting was one group was actually watching with the subtitles and the English subtitles along with the English voice, and I thought that was really interesting because I thought that actually really helped them, because there were a lot of things that are not normal in this world than in that world. Specifically, like the currency is called berries, and because they were reading the subtitles, they were able to pick up on some of this stuff. Some of the parts where I noticed some other people missed was with Mihawk being one of the 7 warlords of the sea. That was not kind of... It didn't seem like, you know, a whole lot of people were picking up on that, because there was so much... There's so many characters introduced in a short period of time, and the world is new and everything is new, and there's this action going on, and there's so much going on, and you're just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And so with him being named Mihawk as one of the 7 warlords of the sea, I believe that reading the subtitles let them experience that and they picked up on, you know, some of the names that they were talking about. One of the other warlords was Jinbei, when they were talking about, when Arlong was talking with Nezumi, the rat guy, the rat marine, and he mentioned and Nami, and he mentioned Jinbei, and you know, with Arlong, you know, he's a fishman and he wants to not be suppressed by the humans anymore, and so he wants to you know, strike fear into the humans, as the humans have done wrongs to his fishman kind. And so it was really interesting that they picked up you know, that the name Jinbei was dropped. The same with Roronoa sword, Wado Ichimonji. That was really cool, and also it was really interesting, because I love Zoro so much. It's kind of interesting that one group that you know, just kind of guessed everything, almost guessed what was going to happen with Zoro's swords. So that was kind of interesting, that he's like, oh, those 2 broke, he can go find you know, better swords, but he still had Wado Ichimongo. So that was really cool. And overall, I really liked it. I think I'm going to keep watching these reaction videos, because I'm really enjoying some of it. I'm really enjoying people who have never experienced One Piece to experience One Piece and say, hey, I see what this show is about. This show is about friendship and dreams and going on an adventure, and this whimsical world that is One Piece. And so I really enjoy seeing others realize what One Piece is, because One Piece, I love One Piece so much, and it's just been a show there for me that's like, hey, I'm gonna watch One Piece today. And that's so cool, because it's a continuing show, and the show is really good, and I'm really excited for One Piece, and I'm really excited for this live action, and I hope that they have a season 2. So that's my thoughts, that's my reviews. I give it a, you know, that would be an 8 out of 10, and which is a really high review for live action. And as an anime fan, I would give it a 10 out of 10. It hit the ball out of the ballpark. You can see the numbers on Netflix are, just really great compared to any other live actions, compared to some of the shows coming out now. It is killing it, so I hope that they get a season 2. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me if you like the live action version of One Piece. Have you seen it yet? Are you going to watch it? What were your likes and dislikes? Who is your favorite character? Tell me in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Bye.